going on, guys? It's Mark from Limo Marketer back with another video for you all. So in today's video, I wanted to discuss how you know if your agency is doing a good job or not. This is something that I get asked by a lot of different limo businesses. How can I tell if my agency is doing a good job when I myself don't really understand online marketing? So the first thing I like to say is this. If you don't understand online marketing very well, at least the very basics, the fundamentals, I would highly suggest getting educated and learning the basics. Now, keep this in mind. If you've got a marketing director who you trust, then that's fine. They can handle that. But even then, I would highly recommend, if you're a business owner, it's 2019, digital marketing, having an online presence is so important. Do you have to have it? No. I talk to successful businesses all the time that don't have any sort of online marketing. But I will tell you this, they're not as successful as they could be if they don't have some sort of online marketing strategy in place. So the first thing I'd like to say is learn the basics, because in order to really hire someone, you want to understand a little bit of the online marketing lingo and be able to kind of try to decide, okay, does this agency seem to be confident? Do they seem to know what they're talking about? And I understand, as I've hired people myself lately, where I didn't fully understand the product I was hiring for, and it can be really difficult finding someone who you know is good because you don't understand the product, kind of like taking your car to a mechanic when you do not understand how the engine works. Having said that, what I would suggest is this. If at all possible, go off of recommendations by other business owners who've had success. Because we all know online reviews can be faked. It is possible. So try to find a company, possibly from a friend, a referral, someone you trust who has actually used that company, someone that is in a similar business to yourself that has used a company and had success. Because another thing I want you guys to remember is it really does help working with a business that focuses on and understands your industry. I still get businesses today that approach me that are looking for help, and I typically turn them down because I just want to focus on one industry and get those business owners the best results possible. And so it's really hard to do that when you work with every single industry, because you really want to get a very good working knowledge of that industry. So just because you might have a friend who is a business owner who has seen a lot of success, and let's say it's his HVAC or plumbing business, and he says, oh, you got to use my guy's the best. He very well might do a great job for you, but if you have the choice, work with someone who is familiar with your industry, who can show you examples of successful clients that they've gotten results for. That's super important. And now these days, because I have been burned myself, I always take that extra step. I do my due diligence. I make those phone calls. I call references. Before I would used to just get them. You don't want to just get the references. You want to call them. Because I had something happen the other day where the guy gave me 3 references. I called all 3 of the references, and each one of the references told me, you know what, I'm not really sure how good this guy is. I just started using him, so too soon to tell. And one of the references even said, honestly, I don't think his service was that great. Just because they send you the references doesn't mean all of those references are going to say good things about them. So if you're spending money on your online marketing, guys, make sure you're checking the references, or you're getting a personal referral from a friend who's in a business similar to yourself who has had success, not just some guy he knows that he's heard is good. Because it can be very tough finding an agency that's good, an agency that knows what they're doing, and an agency that gets results. So how do you figure out if your agency is doing a good job? Well, really what you want to do is you always want to be getting your campaigns audited by other agencies. Now, what I would suggest is this. If you have a Google ad campaign running right now, speak with multiple agencies because you don't want it to just get audited by one agency. The best way to tell if someone is good or not is to speak with them and just see how knowledgeable they are. How confident do they come across? And sometimes you might think someone's really confident, oh, this guy really knows his stuff, only to speak to someone else who's like, oh my God, this gal completely blew him out of the water. She's way better. And so I always recommend you want to speak to several different agencies. Try to get an audit from an agency that specializes in your industry. Try getting an audit from a huge agency like a Reach Local. Try getting an audit from a small agency that's maybe in your backyard. What you want to do is you want to spend the time, because as soon as you hire this agency, even when you're doing pay-per-click marketing, results can take time. And so really you don't want to work with them for a few weeks and then go find another agency. So especially if you're doing search engine optimization, you really need to do your due diligence, because any even good SEO company is going to take time to get you results. So do your due diligence and call lots of different companies, speak to lots of different marketing agencies, because if you don't do that, you could very well in a few months have wasted thousands of dollars and gotten literally nothing for it. That's essentially how you figure out if the agency is doing a good job. There's really not a ton of stats I can talk about here, because really I can't tell you, oh, all you have to do is go in and audit, and if your conversion rate's this good, and if your average cost per click is like this, or if your click-through rate is this good. The problem with giving you any sort of benchmarks for those things is there's so much different variance, even inside the limo industry in different cities. And so saying, oh, hey, your cost per click should be this, or your click-through rate should be that, it's tough to say. Now, having said that, I am going to give you a few numbers that you want to make sure you see in your account. So when you go into your main Google Ad dashboard, you want to see that you're getting conversions. Okay, there should be a number here. All right, and if you're spending $1,000 a month, that number better be greater than 50. Okay, so really, if you're spending $1,000 plus a month and you're not getting, you want to be getting 50 or more conversions. Okay, and it's easy to do the math. If you're spending 500, you'd want 25 or more. Okay, that would be about $20 a lead. All right, so the thing I see all the time when I audit campaigns is it doesn't even show any conversion data. Okay, so if you look in your account and you only have a small number of conversions, most accounts I see, they're tracking one type of conversion. So they might have spent $2,000 and it shows that they've gotten, let's say, 10 or 12 conversions. Whoever that agency is running that account is not doing their job. Unless they told you up front that you have some sort of online booking software and it's next to impossible, which I have seen before, to track those conversions. So that's the number one thing. Number two, if you are a limo company that mainly does your smaller type vehicles, you know, even stretch limos, party buses, and you don't really do motor coaches, charter buses, that sort of thing, and you're paying any more than $5 per click, probably going to be much too high. Okay, really, even if you're paying $4 a click, you better be in a very large market. Now, your cost per click, that's kind of like an indicator, but it's not all that matters. Really, it's your cost per lead or your cost per conversion. So make sure, go into your account, make sure you see a number in the conversion column, and that number better not be single digits unless you're only spending $80 a month. Check your cost per click. You don't want that to be too high. Other than that, I could go into other things, but that's when it starts to get a lot more technical. Things like checking your search query report, which is probably the most important report you have in your whole Google ad campaign. That shows you what people are actually searching in Google before they click on your ad. So that would probably be another thing I would look at, but again, a lot more advanced. Here's what I would suggest. If you're a limo business and you have not had your Google ad campaign audited in the past 6 months, leave a comment below and my team will follow up with you and we will do an audit of your campaign, and we're going to check things like, is your agency tracking conversions? Are you paying too much per click? Or probably the biggest thing is, are you getting a lot of irrelevant clicks, irrelevant traffic? Because if any of those things are true, your campaign is not performing optimally. So go ahead, leave a comment below. We will follow up with you and do an audit of your campaign. I even recommend the businesses I work with to do the same thing with my campaigns. I said, if you've been with us for 6 months or longer, have some other agencies check and audit the campaign that we're running, because when you're spending money, you always want to know where those dollars are going. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to ask you all a favor. If you got some value from this video, please share it with your friends. Please share it with some other business owners that might get some value out of this as well. Please give it a like and leave me in the comments below any questions you had about any of these things I went over, and any ideas you might have that I could produce my next videos about. So anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.